Welcome to the Lead Up Leadership Podcast. Hear from rising leaders and seasoned leaders across various industries to see about their leadership journey and how you can level up your leadership game. Here's your host, Renato G. Lead up!
All right. Well, Happy New Year 2021. Man, we are back with more brand new episodes of the Lead Up Leadership Podcast. And I got to kick it off this year, 2021, right. I've been waiting to talk to this guy for some time. I know we've been connecting more recently these last couple months and really this past year. But I got my main guy, Aldrenne. What's going on, sir? How you doing? Happy New Year.
What's going on? How is everybody doing? I'm good, man.
How you living, sir?
Man, so far so good. I mean, in light of the recent events, that's kind of going on in the country. I think I'm doing pretty good, man. I can't complain too much.
Yeah, man.
How about you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking. A lot of stuff is happening, right? Even in the new year. But I did want to focus on some leadership stuff, and I'm happy to have you on here, man. And before we kind of get into those things, I wanted to just hear more about, so the people know who you are, kind of sharing about a little about your background, kind of maybe some of your experience, what you currently do. Maybe just give us a little a snippet of who Aldrenne is.
Sure, man. Right now I work for Sutter Health, and I'm one of the application team supervisors. I'm part of the Acute Leadership team. So I help manage the application support for oncology services, ambulatory pharmacy, as well as a whole bunch of other pharmacy applications. So I oversee about 3 teams right now.
Wow.
I've been in IT for I'm gonna say about 9 years. And I started as an analyst and just building up the software and learning how to do that. And I did a little bit of a stint at Sutter Health in the pharmacy finance department for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been in pharmacy for, man, I think it's been almost since I graduated. I think
Yeah.
it's probably been a good it's been a long time since I've been doing pharmacy, but I've just tapped into different avenues of pharmacy. So now I'm more in a leadership role now. So a little bit of a change,
Yeah.
of change for me.
That's dope. And so, where'd you grow up, man? Are you from Sacramento?
Born and raised, man.
Born and
Born and
raised.
raised. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Born and raised.
And I first met you a couple years ago, and got to know you even more through our mutual friend Lewis, right? From his wedding, and then I think even after that, I saw you many times at CalFit. Whether it was
Yeah.
like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning pumping iron, sometimes doing 2 a days. I'd be coming back in the afternoon, like, what is this guy still doing at the gym, right?
That's how it
Uh,
is.
but before we get into some of the some questions that I have for you, man, I want to just start off with this one. We are in a new year, right? 2020 was a lot of things that happened. I'm curious to hear, man, what was a takeaway or something that you learned from 2020, whether it was about yourself, your job, your family. What is something that you took away from 2020?
Something I really took away from 2020 is that, tomorrow really isn't promised, man. You got to do what you love every day. Whether that's, being with your family or just pursuing your dreams or doing a podcast or all of these things. If you got something in your heart, man, you just got to go do it every day. I
Yeah,
think that's the biggest key takeaway that I took about of 2020.
that's dope, man. And like I mentioned just right before this, since I met you and gotten to know you more, you are consistently working out or doing something active. Tell me about that. What have you always been active? Is that something that was always a part of your life? Like, why is it that you work out? I see the boxing videos, the training. You got your kids going in. Like, tell me about that. Where did that come from?
That comes from, I think I've been like that my whole life, man. I've been in sports and stuff, for my whole life. I mean, for a period of my life, I feel like I lost a little bit of that. And I think one day, a little while back, man, I just looked in the mirror and I was like, man, this ain't me.
Mm,
There's a better version. There's a better version of me to be out here and into the world. And I feel like, as humans, we're built with 3 different pillars. Your physical, your mental and your spiritual, and all of those kind of all coincide together. So I think, it, if I'm building up my physical, I'm pushing myself mentally. But
Mm,
um, all of that stuff starts with being grateful for the body that I have and taking care of it.
yeah,
So I think that's why I do it, and that's something I want to pass on to my kids. You
yeah,
know, they have to know that. Plus, man, life is hard. I think this is just the physical representation of life.
yeah.
You kind of working out all the time, whether
Right.
you know it or not.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. And really what I'm getting at is this concept of discipline. Because that's something that, like I said, I kind of joked around, like always seeing you at the gym and, posting your videos, your daily videos in the morning, whether you're going on a run or you're doing some sort of boxing workout. But there's a lot of people, even myself included for some time, where I struggled with discipline. um how do you stay disciplined? Like, where does that come from? How do you work yourself up to consistently wake up? Even before we started recording, you're talking about you only get a certain amount of hours of sleep, running on fumes, but you constantly are getting up to do what you need to do, man. So how do you stay disciplined?
I think discipline comes from understanding why you getting up and doing something, right? So for me, man, every day when I wake up, man, I'm always going in. And I was just talking a little about this. I was just talking about when I wake up in the morning, what I do first. I always wake up, give my wife a kiss. I smell my wife. I smell my kids, and man, I'm like, how can I not get up?
Mm,
I got every reason to get up. And so, that's kind of my motivation is whether or not I talk to them while they're sleeping too. So I'm like, one day they're gonna hear me talking to them, and they're gonna hear what I'm saying or whatever. But
yeah.
I think it's just as a father and as a husband, you got to lead by example and
Mm,
not by me just telling you I'm gonna go do this. They got to see it.
mm,
So I think that's where my discipline comes from. Is that yes, it's for me. Yes, it makes me feel great. But at the end of the day, it's something bigger than that.
mm. Yeah, man. And I love how you talked about your kids and even your wife, man. I know I've been seeing more of stuff of you kind of recording them and sharing, like even reciting things back to you, whether it's like affirmations or even tidbits from like speeches. And I'm like, dang, this is crazy. Like these are young kids, but they are learning at a young age, man. How do you translate your discipline onto your kids? And was that challenging?
Mm, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say it was challenging. I think it's just a matter of, man, your kids are like sponges. Our kids are like sponges. The water that we put into them is what they will soak up. So, I think they helped me to be a better person because it makes me search for the better parts of myself.
Yeah,
I think that's what we have to strive for. I think
yeah,
we got to
yeah.
lead our kids up. That's
Right.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. And I kind of I'm already anticipating what you're gonna say, but I mean, this is I would say for every person that runs into this, and this is where kind of the discipline overrides some of those moments, right? When you wake up, or you're maybe either going to work, or you got a workout that you had planned, and you just have that short moment of thought of like, man, I'm not feeling it today. Like how do you respond in those moments? Like how do you quickly like tell yourself, you know what? No, I still need to do this, even if I don't feel like it. And how do you even do that with your kids, right? Where they have their moments of like, Daddy, like, I'm not feeling it today. How do you not only do it for yourself, but for your kids?
For myself, I feel like that a lot, man. That's why I have like I got 6 alarms in the morning, and my goal is to get up on the first one. But if I don't get up on the first one, listen, I give myself multiple tries.
Mm,
And I think at the point I am in terms of how much I feel like I've invested into it already, it's like I can't miss no day, or
mm,
I can't do that. It's like once you pour so much into something, I think it's difficult to turn your back on it. You become pulled to it. Like you're
wow.
like, oh, I gotta do it. It's not nobody has to push me to do anything anymore. I think if there's something I
That's
want in
good.
my life, you know what I mean? You got to push yourself.
Hmm.
But in terms of this, the training and stuff like that, man, I'm really pulled towards it. And I
Yeah.
think I just see the benefit in it and how it makes me feel
Yeah.
when I do my regular job.
Yeah.
Like this is not my job. It's just this is for me and for my family.
Yeah, that's great. And it's actually kind of
Oh,
as you
hold
were
on.
talking.
My computer locked up real quick. Granada,
No,
let me
you
unlock it one more time.
no, you good, man. You good. This is how we're gonna start off 2021, man. Unlocking,
Come on.
right? This is how
Unlocking. We're unlocking the keys right now.
exactly. But as you were talking, it kind of you reminded me of something awesome that also happened in 22 for you and your family, and it was this what you had shared about the home that you just purchased, right? And
Oh yeah, man.
the story that like of how you got this amazing house. Man, can you share a little bit about? I would say how the discipline kind of applies into the story and how you push
Oh
yourself
yeah.
to really get this home. Yeah, can you share that, man?
Oh, absolutely, man. So this past year, despite all of the bad stuff that was happening, man, we really got blessed with with our dream house. We're gonna stay here, our kids, our grandkids, and everybody is gonna stay here. And I think that was the vision that God planted in my head when I bought my first house.
Mm,
My wife and I think we could have bought a house a long time ago. We wanted to buy the one we were gonna stay in.
yeah.
And so crazy thing is, man, we didn't look at very many houses. We looked at a lot of houses, but
Yeah.
when we went to it, we were like, oh, this is the one. I was like, all right, it is the one. We pulled up, and the one of the guys from the gym happened to be the realtor that was selling this house. And I ended up writing a letter. It was called a letter of heart, and just kind of really just expressing what this house means to me and my family and what it is going to be. Nerf wars throughout the house. The kids coming down on Christmas, and so far I've already got to do two of those to see the kids, light up with the tree and the presents under the tree, and
Hmm.
doing Nerf wars. I'm not ready for the prom thing that I put
Yeah.
in there, but um, I think we are as we think, man. And
Mm,
I think what happened was I wrote that letter, and as you guys know, I don't know if anybody else is trying to buy a house right now, but it is a tough market right now.
mhm.
And the guy read the letter, and he vouched for me. He was like, "Yo, I respect this guy because of what I see you do at the gym, and just the consistency and the discipline, I guess, of just showing up every day. I think that's the key to success is just to show up every day.
Mm,
Do it when you don't want to do it, and I think it's yours. I mean, just be grateful that you got the opportunity to do it, because I think gratitude, when you're grateful for stuff, I feel like he gives you more stuff to be grateful for. So I feel like
mhm.
that's kind of how that evolved for me.
That's good.
So it was a dope story, man. And long story short, it was a lot of people that had a lot of better bids than I did.
Yeah.
And it was him saying that my character as a man was why
Wow.
he felt like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, man, that's dope. I was like, I didn't even know that. All I'm doing is being me. I'm
Yeah.
like, really? That's cool. So I'm gonna just continue to do that because I guess it's working okay.
Yeah. Your character and your discipline literally paid off when there were
It
other
did.
financial like bids that were, past yours, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a lot. I'm not from the Bay, so if, when you coming from the Bay down here, it's a different. You got a different pocketbook. So
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
I'm not from there, so it ended up working out though.
No, that's powerful, man. And this is really a testament to, again, who you are. And something I started to do a lot last year, and that I've continued to do even now, are affirmations. In the
Yeah.
past I used to think it was super corny and cheesy, like, why are people just saying things like positive things that aren't necessarily true? So I kind of thought, I was like, man, that's bogus, that's weird. But once I got a coach, and they really challenged me to write down affirmations, right, about not only of who I am, but who I need, like some of the character traits of who I want to be, right, as a man. And the challenge was to say those 5 times each day, right? And the beginning first week was, again, kind of like, all right, why am I doing this? This is really weird.
Yeah,
but
I
as
get that.
but as I kept doing it, surprisingly, some days I was like, man, I really believed it. I really believe that I am, I'm gonna say, I'm patient, I'm systematic, I'm poised, I'm agreeable. And as I kept saying it, I said it with more confidence. I was, adding things to that list of, affirmations. And I bring up affirmations because again, the videos and things that you share, man, you're constantly affirming either yourself, you're constantly affirming other people. Why is that? Why are affirmations such a big part of who you are and something that you do?
That's funny you say that, man. I think more recently in my life, I feel like I've been trying to figure out what my gift is, and I feel like I'm here to help, inspire other. If I can inspire one person or just be good energy to somebody, it's too much bad energy in the world. So I don't
Facts.
want to, I don't want to be that, and I don't want
Hmm.
my kids to be that. I don't want that to be. When you think of me and my family, I want you to be like, yo, that's just good energy. I just got to be around it. And I feel like that's what you should strive for, is to figure out how you could be the light for somebody else. Because on some real stuff, man, I think, um, affirming other people will just help further our race and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Could you break down something practical? A lot of people that tune into this are between like 25, 34. So they're either, just wrapping up college, maybe they're just starting a new job or trying to move up in their life or trying to level up, they're trying to lead up. What has helped you in terms of like that positive self-talk? Or maybe they're around people, right? Maybe coworkers or maybe some friends that they just grew up with and they're constantly bad energy. Or maybe they find themselves um, self-sabotaging themselves. What would you practice say to these people, how they can affirm themselves, affirm other people around them? How can they find that good energy?
I mean, I think it's really about you taking a moment to look in the mirror at yourself and tell
Mm,
yourself that you're enough. Because I think once you can tell yourself you're enough, you start to believe that you're more. You know what I mean? Like I feel like once you're like, man, I'm good enough for this. I got this. Like, or it's mine, or I think you have to figure out how to expect that good things are going to happen to you. It's okay to feel that. I feel
mhm,
like sometimes I feel like that a lot of my life. Like I'm like, dang man, why does all this good stuff happen? Or how
mm.
do I get good stuff to happen to me? I just started believing it was just gonna happen, and then it just
Yeah,
always happened. I'm like, all
yeah,
right, well, if it's that simple, I know it sounds super simple,
yeah,
but at the end of the day, man, if you believe something, I truly believe if you really believe in what you're doing, it's nothing gonna get in the way of it. It's
yeah,
just you the only person that could get away of the way of what you want. I
yeah.
think as you're trying to lead up or level up or take yourself to the next level, I think you need to also assess your strengths and your weaknesses.
Mm,
And you got to be real about those things. You got to be like, man, I got to be better at this, or I got to be better in this avenue of my life. Because I think as men and women, we all play multiple roles.
right.
You can have your career, you got your families, you got yourself, you got your walk with God. It's so many different things that you have to do. And I mean, if I'm gonna be it, then I'm gonna try to do great in all of those things. And it sounds tiring, and it is tiring sometimes,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, man, you have to you really got to look at the big picture. You just got to look at it as a big picture.
Yeah.
Do one thing at a time. Focus
Mm,
on that one thing at a time. I think that's what's important.
yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And I like how you said one day at a time, one thing at a time. And that's something I've definitely taken to heart. I would say even 2 years ago, um, because as I thought about either the future, right, I would get anxious, or put pressure on myself. Whether it's like this 5-year plan model that people always talking about. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Or even thinking about the
It's the number
past.
one interview question, right? That's
Right,
the number one
right,
interview
right,
question we ask. I'm like, okay,
right,
it's a hard interview question.
right. It is. It is. So I guess what I'm leading to is um, one thing at a time, one day at a time has helped me to keep things in perspective of like, all right, just manage what's in front of me. And if I can
Yeah.
manage that, you know, um, at a certain level, it might not be perfect, right? But at least I got it done, right? And I can improve the next day, right? Or I can improve by getting a coach. I can improve by seeking out that wisdom or that help that I don't currently have, right? So I'm curious, to hear from you. When you kind of get stuck in a rut, or you're like, all right, how do I get to that next step? Like, how do you stay accountable? How do you get that help or support to like move up to the next level?
You know what? I think a lot of that comes from and me. Comes from my wife. Actually, I mean, that's when I got married, man. I married my best friend.
Good
So
answer. Good answer.
you know, but hey, it's the truth though.
Yeah.
And in a couple days, I know I don't look like it, but I've been married for 11 years.
Wow.
So the thing is, man, I think we got married real young. Like we knew off top that this was gonna be it. And
Hmm.
I think, having her support throughout, throughout my life, growing through my 20s and 30s, and us being like we both want these things and establishing the things that we were going to do in our life, we were like we just never looked back. I think when you're in that rut, I got God, I got my wife, but when you're in that rut, I feel like God is always there. He's never left. He's always listening. It's like I think we talked about this one time, Renato, but I view God's relationship as like, father and son type relationship. Like that's
Right.
that's my dad. You know what I mean? Like I could ask him for whatever, so he's always listening. Like my father, I could ask my dad for whatever, and he's listening no matter
Hmm.
how old I get. So I think when you're in that rut, man, the easiest thing to do is pray.
Yeah.
I know it sounds super simple, but hey man, pray on it,
Yeah.
sleep on it, train on it, let your frustrations out on it. I think that's my solution.
Right. No, that's real, man. That's real. And I think it's for people that maybe not pray, I think meditating or reflecting
Oh
on,
yeah,
right,
for sure.
reflecting, it's really taking that moment, again, I think what you said earlier, to assess, to think about, what has happened, right, and then asking for the help, whether it is to God, whether it is to someone that is in a position that you want to get to, right, or maybe from a mentor. I think there's a lot of tangible ways, whether it's practical, spiritual, that people can look to. That's great,
And you
man.
know what? It's funny you said that, Renato, because I think you always got somebody, you always got the people that you look up to for advice, or the people that you look to, in those times. And I think you always got to have somebody that you can learn something from. If you don't got some people in your life that you can learn something from,
Hmm.
you're not doing this right, because um there's always something to learn.
You're right.
And I feel like those are the people. I got different people that I have in my life that I learn different things from, or I
Hmm.
or I, or I have, like, whether it's whether it's financially or spiritually, or whether it's training. I'm like, I gotta go talk to this. I gotta go talk to this. I gotta go talk to this guy, because he's
Hmm.
going. Or even on YouTube, YouTube will give you some stuff for free, and
Right.
you could go look it up. You're like, oh man, I feel like it's people that I've been listening to for a long time. I'm like, man, they've been coaching me through my life for the last 10 years, and they don't even
It's
know.
true. It's true.
So people put out the blueprint. It's
Hmm.
just to you to open up the plans and read it and apply
Woo.
it.
Okay. Okay. Now, oh man, this is all good stuff, and I want to kind of wrap it up as I you have been doing the last couple episodes, and that's asking you to finish this statement, and the statement is, every leader needs blank. What is that? Knowing what you know now, every leader needs what?
I think, like, every leader needs to have good energy. I think I said that earlier, but rising tides lift all boats, man. So everybody around you, man, you got to be that rising tide. You got to lift up everybody around you. That's what a leader does. Not they're not trying to. A leader isn't out here trying to lift up themselves. They trying to lift everybody else up, because as your teams elevate, or the people around you elevate, man, you elevate. You on a whole nother level. So I feel like that's the key to leadership, is give that good energy, because it's nothing like a leader that will go to war with you versus somebody that's just gonna sit back and let you do the work. I mean, I think that's kind of how I approach leadership in my current role. Is
That's
I've
good.
done it before, so I know what it feels like. So I mean, that's it right there.
That's good, man. Good energy, good podcast, good friend, good man, husband, father. Man,
Hey, I
just thank you.
appreciate that,
Yeah,
man.
no, seriously, bro. And I've had the pleasure of getting to know you. Literally, I would say this past year was, I think, the most communication we've had, kind of going back and forth. pick each other's brain, whether it is leadership or even training. We still gotta
Yeah.
get our sparring session on.
We still got to get in,
Yeah,
man.
we
You
still
know what?
got
One time, I hope you have your own studio and we could do this live in a studio because it's coming for you, man. I'll
Yeah.
speak that one to existence
Hey,
for you.
let's get it.
Let's go.
Let's go, man. Well, you heard it here, Aldrenne, podcast leadership, lead up, man. We're gonna catch you on the next episode. Peace.